One location, two completely different nightmares. Welcome to color grading for cinematographers. Today, we're breaking down the psychology of fear through color. Let's transform this raw footage into a toxic grindhouse-inspired gritty green look. We have 3 outdoor shots. No special horror art directing, just outdoor shots. Not to mention the horrible acting, of course. So first, I'll apply LUT and check all the raw parameters. Then let's go to the first node. Here I adjust the contrast. Basically I lowered the shadows and moved them into the colder, gritty greens. And also I adjusted the highlights and made it a bit warmer. But that's not all that I'm going to do with the highlights. On the next node, with a custom curve, here it is, I rolled it up to make it softer, so that's how it looked originally, and that's what we got. Okay, the next one for the gritty green color is the olive greens. It's not so easy to achieve only by lift gamma gains or HDR wheels. So first idea was to use a qualifier and then to make the color compression. That's the result. Okay, that's a decent result. You see the qualifier here. See the qualifier. You see it's not so clean selection. And also it would be very hard to expand on other shots. So I thought I need another option. And that's it. Color wrapper. Here it is. I just wrapped all the greens and greenish blues and cyans closer to reds and yellows. And here we have almost the same olive green. Let's check. Yep. Looks very close. So yeah, I won't use the color compressor on this shot. The next moment, I don't like these blue pieces in the car windows and street signs. So I'll just desaturate it. It's a simple hue versus saturation curve. Here it is. Yeah, that's the good point. Okay, and next we still have too many reds and the skin tones are also too warm. That doesn't fit our overall style. So let's just remove it. With hue versus hue curve, we'll make the greenish grayish zombie skin tone and minimize the reds on the background. That's it. Now the image is too olive, too yellowish. That's why I think I'd rather offset it a bit to the tile. This time I'll use the HDR wheels, as in this case they work better. The global wheel works better in this case than the offset wheel of the primaries. So yeah. Here's the good compromise between the sick olive and greenish and bluish, and okay, I like this. Another trait of gritty green horror is the footage that looks like the teenagers found the old Super 8 16mm DATS camera and they don't know how to expose properly, they don't know what's the stock, and the stock is outdated for 20 years, so they just having fun shooting it and then pushing in the lab. The technician, not the kids. So there is plenty of grain. There should be plenty of grain on that footage. Then let's add the grain. DaVinci allows us to add great variety of grain. I'd rather choose 16 millimeters, and the default value is 1/2, but it's not so visible. So I'll push it like to 0.7 or so on. I could push it to the maximum, but it would be too boiling. I'd say I don't like it. That's okay, but I don't like it. So let's go back to 0.729. Yeah, that's good. And here we see some problem with our reds. So let's try to adjust it to make it more even. I think this one would work. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this shot, but I don't like the highlighted areas. They are not from this movie. That's why I'll add the masks, the power windows, that will simply mask the highlights. Here with the primary wheels, just dim down the gain values by 0.3, and that would work. And now let's try to expand this grading onto other shots. Different shots, you have to update the color grading according to the image. So yeah, let's start. Let's start again with the contrast. Oh, sorry. Let's start with LUT. Then contrast, then highlights, then color wrapper, desaturating blues, skin tones, tile offset, grain, and I don't like this bluish plate that's also out of this movie style, so I'll just add the power window and just the hue versus hue, so it would mimic with the wall, like that. And then the last thing I don't like is the chair that looks strange. So I'll add the node that will go directly from the start point to the parallel mixer at the end. And here I'll have the power window that will also adjust the hue. Okay, let's make it not so greenish. Yeah, I think that's good. That's it. And then let's proceed to the final frame. Again, LUT. And all the same. Contrast, highlights, color wrapper, desaturating blues, skin tones and reds, tile offset, grain, and adjusting the plate color. Let's check whether it's... Oh, that's way better. Okay, now we can see the final result. And that's the final look. In part 2, we're taking this exact same footage and flipping it into a clinical modern A24 style blue, so subscribe so you don't miss it. If you want to master the craft, check out my color grading for cinematographers playlist, linked in the description. Drop a comment to support the channel, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.